Yourself?
I'm going to introduce myself. Okay. Yes, my name is Joseph Perez. I'm with Pangea. I'm one of the partners of Pangea. I'm also a community member of the Gila River Indian community. Lived here, of course, all my life. But one of the things I did want to do is welcome you all to the Gila River Indian community, to my community. We appreciate you being here. It's a good day for us. I think it's a good day for landowners and the community as a whole. But in the end, I want to just make sure that you know you're welcome to our community. We're glad to have you, and thanks for coming today. Like I said, my name is Joseph Perez. I am with Pangea Development, and we're here today to help facilitate a press release for the landowners of the Pecos Road area in terms of a voter initiative that they've decided to push forward that pertains to the freeway, pertains to the past Loop 202 vote. Give you a little bit of information about Pangea Development and the project that we have here within this area. That's part of the reason we're here right now. I grew up on the reservation. I'm from Blackwater, or District 1, which is way down towards Coolidge. That's where my family is from. And part of the main reason I'm standing before you here today is because of my great uncle, Ardell Ruiz, who used to be on tribal council a long time ago. Ardell was a person that had the vision of essentially what I'm implementing, and I'm really finishing his vision of doing economic development for our community. The history of where we're at today and the land you see behind me goes back quite a while, and Nathaniel Pacharo will actually go into a little bit of the history of the land. But essentially for Pangea, we've been developing this project for the last 7 years. We've been meeting with landowners on an individual basis. We've had landowner meetings with as much as 300 people. We've met under trees on the reservation, community centers. We've met at houses with families. In that whole time, what we've come up with is something quite unique. It's never been done in the history of any tribe within the United States. But essentially, what Pangea is looking to do is to develop allotted land. Now, within our community, we have allotted land and community land. Now, allotted land is land that is owned by a community member. It's owned outright by them. They don't pay any taxes on it. It's their land, and they're free to do with it as they please, as long as it falls within the ordinances and the rules of the Gila River Indian community. Typically, what is done with allotted land is it's leased for economic development. The lease process is a bit arduous. The Bureau of Indian Affairs is involved in that lease process, and there's a fair amount of hoops to jump through, but we're getting through that. The Constitution of the Gila River Indian community, though, specifically defines the difference between allotted land and community land. Allotted land belongs to a landowner. Community land is managed by the community, and that land is under community control. Allotted land is not under community control. The allottees are able to make their own decisions and control their own destiny in terms of what they could do with that land. Now, in terms of what we have, is the land behind me and a little bit in front of you amounts to about 6,000 acres. And you can see on the maps that we have here, the allotments are divided into 10-acre allotments. Within those allotments, you either have one person that can own 10 acres, or we have up to 350 people that own a piece of land within that 10-acre allotment. Right now, we have a little over 3,250 individual landowners within the 6,000-acre development that we're meeting with on a continuous basis. We have approximately 75% of the land area secured in terms of a landowner within an allotment has agreed that they want to develop their land and move forward with development. Pangea has signed over 1,200 individual landowners to the project development at this point. We're signing more on a continuous basis. Essentially, what we're looking to do is what I call a paradigm shift in how the Gila River Indian community is looked at for economic development. We are putting forward with what we call the city concept. Essentially, we look to develop a small city, and within that city is all the normal components that you would have in development. The key difference that we have here is it is on Gila River Indian on the Gila River Indian community. It's on allotted land, and it's really almost a clean slate. It's a canvas that hasn't been painted. And the landowners are involved from the ground level up. They kind of decide what they want on their land and what they don't want on their land. They also participate in the master planning. They also participate in pretty much every economic stream or any of the revenue streams that would come from the city concept that Pangea would help manage for those landowners. So not only does this bring economic development to the community, it brings economic development to the surrounding cities, that being Phoenix, Chandler, Tempe. It also brings economic development to the individual within the Gila River Indian community. Never before has a project of this size or this magnitude ever been put forth that in the end will help the individual of Gila River. It is going to change the way people look at Gila River and the individual allottees. And I think it changes everything for a positive sense, because if you look around me, this land has been here for a long time and it's never been developed. It's some of the best land probably in the state of Arizona. It sits next to Ahwatukee. It sits next to 4.5 million people, and there's nothing on it. And we're going to change that, not because Pangea Development wants to, but because the individual landowners want to. And we meet with them on a monthly basis, and we move forward in that sense. Now, in terms of what we have today is, there was a vote this month about the Loop 202 freeway, which has a long history with the state, has a long history with the Gila River Indian community. The initiative that was held February 7th was either on the reservation, off the reservation, or there was a no-build option that was thrown in the initiative. A lot of people seem to be confused, but in the end, the no-build won. Although there were more people that voted for a freeway on the reservation than off. What Pangea, the position that put Pangea in, it really didn't change much for us in terms of development. What it did, though, is it gave us an opportunity to put forward what we call a private placement, a private opportunity for a parkway. On the map, you can see the outline of a parkway that would go through the allotted land. It doesn't go through community land. And this parkway has always been in our plans ever since the beginning, since 2009 and previous to that. The alternative of not utilizing Pangea's option for a parkway is that the Loop 202 would go down Pecos Road and cut through South Mountain. Now, the Pangea Parkway allows for an opportunity for the freeway to come south through allotted land within the community, save most, if not all, of Ahwatukee. Unfortunately, allotted land ends at the end of South Mountain there, and our parkway would essentially go up that way, and then if the freeway continued on that course, it would cut through the mountain. This last Saturday, the landowners had a general meeting, and the landowners within the development area here had several options put before them. And those options were that they could develop the land, leave the freeway on Pecos Road. They could develop the land and put forth the parkway, which gives access to the entire land for future development, and offer that as an alternative to the Loop 202 going through Ahwatukee. And the landowners also had an opportunity to decide if they wanted to do a new initiative, an initiative that would essentially save South Mountain, save Ahwatukee, and put a parkway through the allotted land and through community land around South Mountain. In the end, it was a unanimous vote. I believe there was one person out of the entire bunch that was there that voted no, and they voted to do a new initiative. The initiative is being launched by the landowners. It has been summarily submitted to the tribe. It is a voter initiative where signatures will need to be collected. It'll be put forth, and the community members will vote on it. A timeline for that, we're looking possibly mid-year. That really depends on how the signatures go in the approval process. And Nathaniel will speak in some detail about the voter initiative. But I wanted to make sure that you understand that Pangea is here doing the development. We do have some significant interest in terms of development. We do have two entities that I can tell you right now that are interested in doing development within the allotted land on the Gila River Indian community. One of them is a Cabin. They're a real estate investment company. They would actually are interested in leasing over 500 acres to develop. We also have a sports camp, a type of entity that is interested in leasing 500 acres. And you can see over here we have a Junior Spivey and his wife Tabitha who lead up a company called Soul City that is really constructing and managing that whole sports district. That's really what I wanted to tell you. I'm available to answer your questions in detail after the initial press conference here.